So mina ngangihleli lana. So mangihleli kulo sofa lo phakathi nendawo uyakwazi ukubona umnyango through leli passage encanyana umnyango movuleka.
I was seated, okay, from the foot, I was seated on this sofa, which is on this photo 64 in the middle, and when seated there, you are able to see through that opening when the door opens.
Yes, you may proceed.
And then kwathi masahleli kanjalo ngapopola ke mina ngifuna ukubona ukuthi ubani obeqeda ukuvula umnyango enganokhile.
I then peeped through just to see as to who opened the door without knocking.
Yes, so what time was it more or less?
Base usikhatsini.
Mhlambe sithi lapho 7:30 to 8.
Say about 7:30 before 8.
Yes, you may proceed.
And then ngithema ngipopola ngabona abantu besilisa ababili.
When I peeped, I saw 2 male persons.
Where did you see them?
Ubabona kuphi?
Khona la epassage.
Right here at the passage, witness point in photo number 64.
Yes, you may proceed.
Kwase kuthi lo oyedwa umfishane wamadreads wamaphambili uyena vele ongena eqala.
The short one with the dreadlocks stood in front. Sorry, he was the first one to come in.
How was visibility at this stage?
Kwakukanjani ke indlela kwakubonakala ngayo noma ke asithi indlela ukhanya kwakukanjani?
Kwakubonakala nje kahle ngoba indlela sasilayithile vele.
It was very clear because the lights were on in the house.
Yes, you may proceed.
And then kwase kuthi lo wesibili wamapartner phakathi khona umnyango ongenela epassage wama lapho ngasestofini.
The second one stood in the middle. There is a door that leads so there's a door that leads to the passage, and he stood there next to the stove.
Yes, you may proceed.
And then kusenjalo ke lo ophambili wamadreads wasethi wasikhomba ngesibhamu esethi khiphani imali namafoni.
And then the one that was in front then pointed us with a firearm and then told us or ordered us to take out money and phones.
Which language was he using?
Wayesebenzisa luphi ulimi?
Wakhuluma isiZulu.
Spoke in isiZulu.
Yes, you may proceed.
And then kwathi makusenjalo uKelly wabaleka ongena ekamereni.
Was at that Kelly ran into the bedroom.
Ikamera ongilami.
My bedroom.
Are you able to more or less show where the bedroom is on the photo? 64 of Exhibit D.
Yes.
Alibonakali kahle
It's
kodwa
not-
lila right.
It's not that visible, but it's on the right. The witness pointing on photo 64 to the right.
If we can again show you the sketch that's on Exhibit D. Can you just indicate more or less where that room is?
Isebenzisa lesi sketch ke ikuphi le camera okhuluma ngalo?
Nanti iqondane nekhishi, iqondane nomnyango wasekhishini.
Yeah, it's facing the kitchen door.
Yes, may I proceed?
Bese kuthi uKelly mayisengena ekamereni and then lo mlisa wesibili owayeme ngasekhishini wamlandela uKelly evala umnyango yena efuna ukuwuvula.
And then when Kelly ran into the bedroom, the second gentleman that was standing next to the kitchen then followed him. Kelly was closing the door and he was trying to open it.
Can you just show there on the sketch where the second person was
Asikhombise lana kwisketch ukuthi wayekuphi ke lo wesibili
before he followed?
ngaphambilini
Kelly.
kokuthi amlandele uKelly.
Wayeme nje lapha ngaphakathi komnyango wasekhishini.
He was just standing here in the middle of the door of the kitchen door. Witness pointing on the sketch on the door.
Yes, you may proceed.
And then ke kwasukuma ulongo wayehlezi eceleni kwami. Wayesephusha lo besikhombeni esibamba ama-dreads.
And then Longwe stood up as he was seated next to me and pushed the one with the dreadlocks.
And where was this person with the dreadlocks at that stage when Longwe pushed him?
Ngalesikhathi aphusha uLongwe, lo wama-dreadlocks wayekuphi nendawo?
Wahlehla emuva, wahlehlela kancane nje wayela.
He moved backwards and just a little bit, and he was here, just pointing in the passage of the hallway.
And where in relation to the room where Kelly went into?
So, can you repeat that?
And where was this, where did this person with the dreadlock
Okay.
retreat to in relation to the room where Kelly went?
Kuleli camera leli uKelly wangena kulona yena ke umehlehlela umuva wahlehlela umuva waya kuphi nendawo lo nama-dreadlocks.
Wahlehla nje wawudlula kancane umnyango waba phakathi naphakathi ney'ndonga before uzofika e-bathroom.
Just a little bit and past the door, just in between the walls, just before you get into the bathroom.
Yes, you may proceed.
Mayiqeda ukumphusha kulongwe, ulongwe wabaleka waphuma ngomnyango wasekhishini.
After Longwe pushed him, he then ran and went out of the kitchen door.
Yes.
And then makusenjalo ngathatha ifoni yami ngayifihla emva kwecushini la kade ngihleli khona.
But at that, I then took my phone and hid it behind the cushion where I was seated.
If we can show you photo 64 again.
No, ngayifihla nje khona la.
I hid it here, witness pointing is behind the cushion on the couch.
Yes, you may proceed.
Singaqhubeka.
And then kuthe makusenjalo sasukuma sonke, and then safike sadlula nalo obelisa umnyango kakhele sekamereni, and then samthatha naye wamadret sabaphushela bonke ukuya ngasemnyango wasekitchen.
Uthi namdlula lo ebephusha umnyango.
Sithathile naye sahamba naye samdudulela
Okay.
emnyango wasekitchen.
And we then, all of us then stood up. We then pushed them, that is now both the gentlemen, together with the one that was struggling with Kelly for the door, and pushed both of them to the kitchen.
Are you able to perhaps state in which order you stood up and confronted the two persons?
Ingabe ngasho yini ukuthi nasukuma ngayiphi indlela seniyake kulaba bantu laba senibadudula ukuthi iorder noma indlela enasukuma ngayo?
Angisakhumbuli kahle ukuthi ubani wasukuma kuqala, kodwa ngabona nje sonke sesime ngeenyawo sihamba nabo sonke sibasa emnyango wasekitchen.
I can't remember as to who was the first one to stand up, but what I remember is that all of us we were all on our feet, and we were just pushing them, going with them to the kitchen.
Yes, you may proceed.
And then isithe masekitchen kanjalo sibhizi sibalwisa, and then ngabona i-crash kaDumela isebenzisa ime ila phansi, ihleli la phansi eduzane kwe-heater.
Whilst we were there in the kitchen fighting with them, I then saw Tumelo's one crash that he was using. It was there on the floor there next to the heater. Just pointed to photo 64 next to the heater.
Yes, you may proceed.
And
then mangiqeda ukulithatha i-crash ngathi ngiyazama ukumshaya lo wesibili omude, ngithi ngiyazama ukumshaya bengafikeli, and then uTumelo walithatha kumina i-crash kwawuyena oshayayo.
I took the crash where I tried to hit the tall one with it, but I couldn't reach, and then Tumelo took the crash from me and was the one who hit the gentleman with the crash.
Now, if you say the tall one, who is that?
Uma ukhuluma ngomude, umuphi lo?
Ilo wesibili.
The second one.
And where was he at the stage when Tumelo hit him with a crash?
Ngalesikhathi-ke uTumelo semshaya.
Where in the kitchen?
Wayekuphi nendawo ekitchen ngalesikhathi uTumelo semshaya nge-crash?
Wayeseduzane nosinki wasemnyango, umhlane wakhe usemnyango uvala umnyango.
Okay. Next to the sink, he was with his back to the door.
Photo 15 of Exhibit D is shown to you. Are you able to indicate more or less?
Wayimila. Ngoba uyena uvala umnyango.
He was standing here. He's the one who was closing the door. Witness pointing to.
It's photo 15.
Yes.
1-5.
1-5.
Yeah.
Yes, you may proceed.
So makusaliwa kanjalo ekitchen ngabona noKelly esefikile naye sezosijoina kusho ukuthi wayesephumile ekamereni.
Whilst that fight was on in the kitchen, I also saw Kelly also there. I also saw Kelly there, which means she was now out of the bedroom and she joined us in the kitchen.
You indicated where the second suspect was, the tall one. Where was the other one, the one with the dreadlocks?
Lo amadress yona wayekuphi? Angithi usushilo ukuthi wayekuphi lo mude wayekuphi?
Lo ama-dreadlocks wayengaphi eceleni kwa-left emveni komnyango.
The one with the
Emveni komnyango uma uvula.
Okay. The one with the dreadlocks was here, or was on this side. It is pointing to the left of the picture, just behind the door when you open it.
Yes, you may proceed. And the rest of the people, are you able to indicate where Dumelo was, where Mtogo was, and where your mother was?
uDumelo wayekuphi, uMthokozisi wayekuphi?
Yes.
Umuntu engimkhumbula kahle ukuthi wayesesayidini lami la kwa-right kwakuwuDumelo njengoba sasimile lapha phambi kwesitofu.
The person that I remember well that was on my side, that is now the right-hand side, was Dumelo, as we were standing there in front of the stove.
The stove, can you just show it on photo?
Is the stove?
Stove.
Here is the stove, on photo number 15.
Is that where you and Dumelo were?
Yila wena noDumelo nikhona?
Mina noDumelo sasinje eduzane kwesitofu.
That's correct. Myself and Dumelo were close to the stove.
Yes.
And then makusenjalo
The others?
Abanye?
laba abanye ngikhumbule kahle ukuthi ubani wayime ngakuphi kodwa nje sasilokhu silwa ngapha nangapha.
I can't remember well and say who was exactly where, but we were just fighting this side and this side.
Yes, you may proceed.
And then ithe makusenjalo ke ngase ngizwa kuqhuma isibhamu.
Was at that I then heard a firearm went off.
And then yafike
Just a minute. Where did it go off?
Saqhuma kuphi?
kulo wama-dreads wayephethe isibhamu lo wayesuka la.
The one with the dreadlocks, the one where the firearm was coming from here, pointing at the door. There's number 2 and photo 15.
Yes, you may proceed.
And then kuthe makusenjalo uma ngisizwa isibhamu siqhuma ngezwa into eshaya phansi kwaphuma isibhaki sangishaya enyaweni lami laka-right.
When the firearm went off, I then heard something hitting the floor, and then the spark went off, and then it hit me on my foot.
Just a minute. If you say you felt something hitting the floor, could you see where it hit the floor?
Ungaba wabona yini ukuthi lento othi wayizwa ishaya phansi ukuthi yashaya kuphi nendawo phansi?
Cha, angibonanga ngaleso sikhathi.
No, I didn't see it at that time.
Okay. Yes, you may proceed.
and then thema kusenjalo kwawukuthi kusho ukuthi mina noDumelo sizwinto eyodwa sabaleka umkanye wangena ekamereni mina ngangena ebathroom.
When I heard that hitting the floor, it so happened that Dumelo also heard it, so that we heard the same thing. One in the bathroom. Okay.
Yeah,
I ran into the bathroom and he ran into the bedroom.
We just want to show you this sketch that appears in Exhibit D. If you can just show the bathroom wherein you ran.
The bathroom there, or about the I ran into this bathroom, the witness pointing on the sketch plan. It's the only one in the house.
And the bedroom wherein Dumelo ran.
It's between these two, but I can't remember well which one is it.
Yes, we may proceed.
And then ngathi ngisahleli ke ebathroom ngangime ngenyawo futhi, and then ngakhumbula ukuthi konje kunefastela elise bathroom, ngacabanga ukuthi mhlambe mayingaphuma la bese engibona ukuthi ngikhona bese mhlambe uzophinda dubule so ngashona phansi.
Whilst in the bathroom, I was standing, or I was on my feet, and then I remembered that there's a window there. If it can happen that the person would come out, might be able to see me and shoot again. So I went down.
Yes, you may proceed.
And then mangise bathroom kanjalo ngaphinde futhi ngezwe isibhamu isikhala.
Whilst still at the bathroom, or in the bathroom, I heard the firearm going off again.
And where was it going off? From where?
Ngangisizwa siqhuma kitchen.
I heard it going off in the kitchen.
Yes, you may proceed.
And then thema kusuka lapho ngezwa futhi sesikhala okwesithathu, kodwa kulokhu asenzanga umsindo kufana nalokho kunye kokuqala.
From there I heard the firearm going off for the third time, but now at that time it didn't the sound was not as the first one.
And where was the sound coming from of the firearm?
Sasisibuya kuphi leso?
Sasesikhala khona kitchen.
Still in the kitchen.
Yes, you may proceed.
And then emva kwalapho ngezwe ngazuthi kuthulekile ngase ngiyapopola ngoba ngangisikwatile toilet. And then ngapopola ngifuna ukubona ukuthi kwenzakalani.
After that I could hear that it was now quiet, and I then peeped through because I was squatting in the toilet, so I peeped through just to see as to what was happening.
We just want to show you photo 21 of Exhibit D. As well as photo 22. Yes, maybe this one. Here's the previous one. Just previous photo. Yes, this one. It's photo 21 of Exhibit D. If you can just use the photo to demonstrate your evidence.
Ungasebenzisa lesi sithombe ke khombisa lokho okushoyo.
Usela sona siphezulu.
Can you just take up?
So ngangisquathela phakathi kwe bathtub ne basin.
I was squatting here between the bathtub and the basin, referring to the photo number.
Photo 22 of Exhibit D. You can use that photo to illustrate your evidence.
Ngangisquathela phakathi kwe bathtub ebhekane ne basin.
This is where I had squatted in the bathtub facing the basin.
Umnyango mawuvuleka lapho nje.
Okay, just when the door opens, I was just right there where the door opens.
Yes, you may proceed.
And then ngithe mangivula ngithi ngiyapopola.
Just maybe before we proceed, photo 21 of Exhibit D. You mentioned the door. Can you just show it on the photo?
See,
Na umnyango uvulekela ngaphakathi na.
yes, the door, the witness pointing on photo 21, opens to the inside.
Yes, you may proceed.
And then ngithe mangisapopola kanjalo ngipopola iminyango nakhona ngipopolela la ngihleli engisquate khona ngikhipha ikhanda and then ngabona usenzo ekhokhoba kanje eyoyifihla phakathi naphakathi kosofa nestand.
Just as I was peeping through using the door where I was, I then saw Senzo just moving and the witness demonstrating which way like this and going to hid himself between the couch and the stand. The person appeared to film here, the witness pointing to the opening again. Yeah,
and then kuqhamukeni kwakhe ngambona obviously wayesemva kwaKelly and then mina ngikhumbula ukuthi ngabuka uSenzo.
What then happened when this person appeared, this person was behind Kelly, and then what I did is I looked at Senzo. What I remember is that the person demanded phones and money.
Just a minute. But you explained that the person was there at the ark. Did he, when he demanded phones and money, was he still there at the ark?
Ngalesikhathi sefuna amafoni nemali wayese khona lapho othi wambona eqhamuka khona kwi-ark.
Yebo waqhamuka ngemva kwaKelly. uKelly wabaleka wangena kuleli room leli.
Bambeke lapho. Yes, he appeared from behind Kelly, and Kelly ran into this room, the witness pointing just opposite to the opening that he had pointed before as the ark. That's the room that Kelly ran into.
Yes. And then njengoba ngisho wadimanda amafoni imali and angazi indaba ngisasho namanje ukuthi I don't know why I thought it was a joke.
Okay, bambe lapho. As I'm saying that the person demanded phones and money, I don't know why, and I still, up to today, I don't know why I thought like that. I was under the impression that it was a joke.
But was he still there at the ark?
Why say another yandawo?
Cha wayesesondelile phela kancane.
No, he had moved a bit closer.
Just indicate where he was. at that stage.
La.
Okay. Okay. The witness now pointing to the passage. The other opening, which is in the passage here. That's where he had moved closer to.
We just want to show you photo 57 and 59 of exhibit D. Perhaps a better photo will be photo 64, sorry, photo 64 of exhibit D. Yes, that one. You're able to indicate where the person was?
La. Tuzoke hit.
Here,
Not far from the heater.
Not far from the heater. No, we're just pointing to the heater that is on the photo.
Yes, you may proceed to say you thought it was a joke. Why did you think so?
Angazi why, but mhlawumbe ngoba mina ekhaya angazi ngakuthanda ukudlala bayazi nabo, but angazi indaba ngacabanga ukuthi joke, but into angenza ukuthi ngibone into serious ngabona ngoba sengibona isibhamu.
I don't know why, or maybe because at home they know that I like to make jokes or to play around. But what made me to realize that it wasn't a joke, that it was serious, is when I saw a firearm.
Where did you see it?
Who was Bonaguppi?
Esandleni sakhe saka right.
In this person's right hand.
Yes, may
Yeah.
proceed.
Nokuthi usenze ifoni yakhe ayiye into ayenza usenze ifoni wayezama ukuyifihla la ngethanga ethangeni lakhe laka left.
And the other thing is that Senzo's, it's just that the witness is straight, the court can't see. Senzo tried to hide his phone that is now underneath his left thigh.
Photo 57. Perhaps better photo will be photo 59 of exhibit D. Photo 59 of exhibit D. Yes, can you use photo 59 of exhibit D to illustrate your evidence?
Ukusho ke noma ukutshengisa lokho qeda ukusho manje awusebenzise lesi sithombe.
Ikuphi kuqala ngoba
Regarding the cell
cell phone for I think ilesi sinye lesi right.
The other photo was the
Ngoba
better
lesi
one.
kuvela la kuhleli khona mina.
This is where I said.
No lokuphela.
And the other one. So the other photo is a much better photo.
Are you able to indicate where the deceased hit his phone?
That's what I'm trying to say.
That's what he's saying. The other photo is the better one.
Yeah, this is right. Go back. La.
Here.
Awuthi usenze uhleli la.
This is where Senzo said.
So yena uzama ukufihla ifoni ngala
He was trying to hide the phone on this side, pointing out
because
to the
mina
left,
bengihleli la.
because I was seated where the witness is pointing now, in the middle.
Yes.
Yebo.
Ngoba kwakwenzeka ngokusheshsha ke engikukhumbulayo nje into eyenza ukuthi kuze kusukunywe after umuntu oqala wasukuma lapha kwakuyilongo.
Okay. Because everything happened fast, sorry. And what then happened is that, which then led to everyone being on their feet, that the first person that stood up was Longwe.
Yes, you may proceed.
Ulonge wathi mayisukuma waya towards the muntu lo phethe isibhamu.
When Longo stood up, he went towards the person that was carrying a firearm,
Wamuphushela eceleni wase yadlula.
pushed him aside, and he went past.
Yes.
Yebo.
That's when ke ngabona wonke umuntu esukuma ke engikukhumbulayo mina ukuthi usenzo naye waba nescaffold nalomuntu lo wesibhamu.
Okay, that's when I then saw everyone standing up on their feet. And then what I also saw, what I remember is that Senzo being in a scuffle with the person that had a firearm.
Yes. Are you able to Are you able to describe this person who had a firearm?
Kwisimo sokuthi ungamchaza lo muntu wayephethe isibhamu?
Yebo.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Waye ngekho dark ngekho light.
He wasn't dark.
Wayekhanya nje kahle.
It wasn't dark. It wasn't that light. It was just light.
Enama dreads up below nje ilo indlebe.
With dreadlocks just below the ear.
Neyiqhomo nje engathi high cheek kancane.
He had this cheekbones like in the high cheek a little bit.
Ngoba ngesikhathi bephushana nosenzo kuze ngizochaza kahle. Lo nganotice isikhono wesibili.
And at the time when him and Senzo were pushing each other, I then noticed that there was a second one.
Wayemude, so lo wayengaphambili wayethanda ubamfishane kunalo wayemude, so nalo wangaphambili wayengekho mude.
And that person was tall. So now the one that was in the scuffle together with Senzo was shorter than the one that was the second one.
And where did you notice this second person?
Lo owesibili na ke uma umbona kuphi nendawo?
Ngimnotice kwiscaffold kodwa mina into engenza ukuthi ngagijima ngathatha ifone.
Okay, I noticed the person in the scuffle or during the scuffle, but what then happened is that I ran to grab the phone. Yebo.
Iscaffold ke sasisuka from khona la sitting room siya ngase kitchen.
The scuffle was from the sitting room towards the kitchen.
Yes, and where did you see the second person?
Umbona kuphi lo wesibili ke?
Ngimbona la khona ngakwi arc nje lapho la kwi arc na kumnyango lo tuzo kumnyango ne arc emva kwakhe ngasho njalo emva kwalo
Emva kwabani?
emva kwalo suspect number 1.
Okay, it was at the door there, just in that arc and behind the suspect number 1.
Yes, just point out where you saw the second
La
person
wabona
for
khona
the
lo
first
wesibili
time.
umude kuphi?
Owesibili naye waqhamuka khona la kwi arc, so waye la
The second one
between
also,
lo mnyango nalo ngoba lo kuqala waye la kodwa kwakusebushwana kuziwa la ekitchen.
okay, awuphinde ke uthi the second one was just here in the arc. He was also appearing from
The arc.
From the arc, and he was here, and then that's what's when now the pushing was happening towards the kitchen.
Yes, you may proceed.
Correct.
Engikukhumbulayo ke lapho ngoba kwakwenza ngokusheshsha nje bengisho ukuthi ngathatha ifoni ngathi sengibuya sengenza ngathi ekitchen ngahlangana noChristian
Okay, what I then remember happening there, as I said, that it happened fast, and I went to take the phone. Now, on my way back to the kitchen, I then met Christian.
Yes, where did you meet him?
Uhlangana kuphi noChristian?
La
Yeah.
khona nje la ngoba
Just here.
bonke abantu laba engibabalayo usenzo uTumelo suspect number 1 and 2 babe sebela ekitchen vele
The witness pointing to the passage,
Kale if not mistaken, yeah.
saying that's where he met the Christian, because all the others that I've mentioned, Tumelo, Kelly's mother, Senzo, the first suspect, the second suspect, were already in the kitchen.
Yes.
Yebo. Engikukhumbulayo ukuthi ngikhumbulisa ngamqubula uChristian ngoba akuyena ingane lapha yana, so ngikhumbulisa ngamqubula from the left hand side ngamletha on the right hand side ngimsusa from harm's way njengoba kakusekuvele kunes.
What I do remember is that I picked Christian up from the left hand side to the right hand side because I was moving him away from harm's way.
Yes.
Yebo. Njengoba ngishilo ukuthi isikafu sasi between uSenzo nalomuntu ophethe isibhamu.
As I've already said, that the scuffle was between Senzo and the one with the firearm.
And then nalo wesibili komuntu engangisenimnotisile no Tumelo ngikhumbula ukuthi omakazikheli bathatha ama crushes, which was ama crushes kaTumelo, beshaya bezama ukushaya nabo labantu laba babela ngaphambi ngoba bonke babela ngaphambi kwami ngoba was 6 if I'm not mistaken.
And that this in the scuffle was between Senzo and this person with the firearm, as well as now with Tumelo, as well as the second suspect. What I also do remember is that Kelly's mother, they took Tumelo's crutches and assaulted or tried to assault the people, because all 6 people that I've just mentioned were right in front of me.
Photo 64 of Exhibit D refers. Can you just use that photo to illustrate your evidence?
Awusebenzise lesi sithombe ukuchaza ke ngokushoyo.
Engakusho ukuthi uChristian mina isikhathi ngamsusela ngala ngakule hit.
What I can say is, when I removed Christian, it was from the point foot.
La.
It was here next to the heater. Umsanga kuphi?
ngimsusa from ngala kweside lami ukuthi akuvelile ngimletha ngala, so that's why ngithi I was ngimsusa from the left hand side, which would be on this side, ngimletha to my right hand side.
I moved him from the left hand side, which doesn't appear on the picture, and to the right hand side, which is where the heater is depicted.
Yes. And the crutches?
Ama crutches now futhi ayekade ela babathatha khona la.
The crutches were also here, pointing to where the heater is. They took the crutches from there.
Who took was the crutch or crutches?
Kwathathwa i-crutch noma ama-crutch?
No, ngathi kwaba ama crush. Umuntu engimkhumbulayo wayeshaya uma ka
Just yes.
It was the crutches. The person that I remember who was assaulting Begu,
uma ka Kelly.
it's Kelly's mother.
Yeah, just a minute. Who fetched the crutch or the crutches?
I wouldn't know.
Ngeke ngazi ukuthi ubani owathatha.
Yes.
Ibona kodwa ngikhumbula ukuthi babe wasebenzisa ukuthi bashaye bona labo bantu.
They are the ones that I remember who used the crutches in assaulting or to assault those people.
Yes. Can you maybe just describe the scuffle in more detail? What did you see happening there from the ark up to the kitchen?
Uma ungachaza ke lesi scaffold ukuthi yini owayibona isenze noma yini owayibona yenzeka ukusuka khona lapho kwi-ark uma uthi iscaffold usho ukuthini kwakwenzekala.
You can use this sketch to illustrate your evidence.
Mangithi iscaffold ngazi noma ise right term yini kodwa I guess usenzo nje bayihleli la.
Senzo was seated here where the witness is now pointing.
Ngesikhathi wasukuma weza towards yena lo muntu base baba nescaffold esalide la ngasekitchen.
Okay. When he stood up and approached the person where the person was standing, and then they were then in the scaffold which then went to the kitchen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And leso scaffold ke nje bengisho ukuthi saqhubeka saye safika la.
Okay. That scaffold proceeded up to where the witness is now pointing.
On the sink in the stove lapho nje kodwa.
Between the sink and the stove, right there.
Just going to show you photo 15 as well. If we can just use photo 15 of Exhibit D to illustrate your evidence.
Our seven said this is Tombe 15.
La.
Here, the witness pointing to where the stove is on the photo.
Yes, this is a switch point. What happened there?
Ila babeka iscaffold sikhona between usenzo utumelo suspect number 1 suspect number 2.
That is where the scaffold was. That is where the scaffold was between Senzo Tumelo suspect 1 suspect number 2. I will refer to it like that.
And then no Mara Kelly no Zandi babe khona futhi la.
Zandi as well as her mother were also present there.
Can you just maybe indicate who was engaged with whom in this scaffold?
Kulesi scaffold ubani owaye busy nobani?
Usenzo waye busy no nalo wayenesibhamu, and then otumelo yena ngathi waye busy nalo umuntu.
It was Senzo together with the one that had a firearm, and then Tumelo, but Tumelo was mentioned as in the plural my lord. They were busy with the tall one.
Yes, you may proceed.
And then nje bese ngisho ukuthi uMakakheli nababezama ukushaya ngala uma crashes ke beshaya yebona lapho. Uthi angisakhumula hle beshaya number 1 beshaya number 2 kodwa khona babemshaya nabo ngama crashes.
As I've already said that Kelly's mother, they were also busy there with the crashes trying to assault those people, but what I can't recall or remember is whether they were assaulting the first one or the second one.
I think at that time ingqondo yami kakhulu yayisikla lengane lela eceleni kwami.
And I think because at that time my mind was my main focus was on the child that was next to me.
Yes. What was the role, you've described the role of the first suspect who had a firearm. What was the role of the second suspect?
Okay.
Lo owesibili wayephethe like a sharp object. Mess.
The second one was carrying or was in possession of a sharp object that looked like a knife.
Are you able to describe him?
Ukwisimo sokuthi
You
ungamchaza
already said he was taller than the first.
beshilo ukuthi wayemude kunomunye.
ngazi lokho nganotice lokho nje kuphela.
That's all I know.
Ngeke ngizokwazi ukuchaza.
That's all I noticed. The rest I won't be able to explain.
Their clothing, are you able to
Clothing
describe?
ngasho ukuthi he was
Sorry?
wearing a hood, but ukuchaza yena facially cha.
But to describe him facially, no. But the clothing is that he was wearing a hoodie.
Which suspect is this now?
Umuphi loyo?
Suspect number 2.
Ilo wesibili.
And the first suspect, you've already described him. Are you able to describe his clothing?
Lo wesibili ke ubusumchazile yena kodwa owayegqokile ukwisimo sokuthi ungachaza.
Ayigqoka isigqoko engikhumbulayo.
What I can recall is that he was wearing a hat.
And wayegqoke into engathi jacket, jeans jacket, ngisho kanjalo nje but jacket.
Something like a jacket, jersey jacket, but yeah, let's say a jacket.
Yes, may proceed.
Usungaqhubeka ke.
So obviously yonke into emotion ihamba kwenzeka yonke into fast engikhumbulayo engakuzi ukuthi ngezwe nje gunshot.
Okay. Everything was in motion. It was just moving, and what I recall, I heard a gunshot.
Yes. And what was the respective positions of the people who were in the kitchen at that point?
Laba bantu ababesekitchen ke ngaleso sikhathi ke ema position abo aye kanjani?
Ekitchen noma ngisakhumbula but ama position ayi kanjani kodwa ekitchen ngakusakhona usenzo intumelo suspect number 1 suspect number 2 uMakakheli no Zandi. I think no Kelly said uKelly ngamkhumbula kahle but I think naye wayekhona amongst but ngikhumbula.
Although the positions I won't be able to remember, but the people that were still there, the very same people that were there, Tumelo Senzo, suspect 1, suspect 2, Zandi's mother, Zandi's mother and Zandile. I think Kelly had also joined, but she's the person I can't remember, but I think she also joined them.
Yes.
Yeah, bro.
After hearing a gunshot, I think yathusa wonke umuntu.
After hearing the gunshot, I think it made everyone to be scared or shocked.
Ngoba kwaba khona ukuhlukana kuba khona kancane mina ngikukhumbulayo nje ukuthi ngabaleka ngaphuma ngomnyango.
Because what I do recall is that there was some separation and I ran out of the door.
Ngaphambana noSenzo uSenzo eza ngala ngisho ukuthi ngizothi mangibuka lesithombe ngizothi eza ngase fridge but mina ngiphuma ngomnyango lo.
And my path crossed with that of Senzo. Senzo was coming, if I'm looking at the photo, Senzo was coming towards the fridge, which is on the photo, or the stove, and I was running towards the door.
So where did you see the deceased?
Ngizoba ngathi nje in the center of the kitchen la.
In the center of the kitchen.
Yeah, somewhere la. But uphambana kwethi saphambana la.
But where our paths crossed, it was right here where the witness pointed, yes, at the bottom of the picture.
Here.
Here.
Yes.
Yebo ngisho ngikhumbulayo ngikhumbula ngiphuma ngibaleka and ngalandela ulo number omude wesibili
I remember, as I said, that I ran out, and the tall one, the second one, followed me.
Lo ayiphethe into engathi ummese.
The one that had an object that looked like a knife.
So you mentioned that a person appeared in the door that has direct access to the dining room. Can you indicate where that person appeared?
Uthi-ke lo muntu wavela nje kulowo mnyango lo owawungena ngilo ngase-dining room. Uqhamuke kuphi lo muntu?
Photo 64 to just indicate where the person appeared.
Sizobheka-ke i-photo 64 uzokwazi ukusitshengisa khona lo muntu waqhamuka kuphi.
Iyo lena.
Is this the one?
Yeah. Are you able to show on the
Umnyango
photo?
ungala eceleni kweyidala ungenela khona ubekamnje la.
Lo muntu
Nomnyango
ubeka
la ukuthi akubonakali kahle akunomnyango ungenela edining.
It's just that that particular spot is not properly displayed or depicted here in this picture. This is the door that actually has access into the dining room. And the witness has just pointed on the far right of that picture, next to the heater that is seen there.
Yes. We're going to show you the sketch plan. If you can maybe just indicate on that sketch plan where you saw the person.
The sketch plan in this uzokwazi ukusibonisa
Yeah.
lo muntu wambona eTranspoort.
Awayimla angithi la isekitchen mawungena la ekitchen undlula amakhabethe fridge ume la. Wayela la nje exactly la.
Yeah, now that is the very spot where this person was standing at. One can see that there's the kitchen door, and then you walk past the cabinets in the kitchen, and as you turn to your right in the sketch plan, right there at that spot, which looks like a passage, that's where he was.
Yes, you may proceed.
Umuntu wakhona wayephethe isibhamu esandleni esikhombe ngesibhamu.
That person was having a firearm in his hand.
Efake isigqoko enza ama-dreading.
Ungajahe. And there's a demonstration of the wielded firearm with the hand of the right hand of the witness.
Yeah.
Sungaqhubeka ukuthi ubefake?
Efake isigqoko enama-dreading.
He had the dreadlocks on the head and was also wearing a hat.
Because into afika ayifuna wafuna amafoni nemali enamehlo.
Now, one thing that he actually wanted was the phones and the money with a wielded firearm and the big eyes, or widened eyes.
Just a minute. Yes. And how did he demand cell phones and money? Which language was he using?
Imali nama cell phone ubesebenzisa luphi ulimi?
Noma ngisakhumbula kahle ukuthi wayibeka kanjani but into engikhumbula wakhuluma isiZulu famafoni nemali into ayifuna.
Even though my wording might not necessarily be correct, but I remember that he demanded phones and the money. He demanded phones and money.
Yes, you may proceed.
Ungaqhubeka.
Eish ukuthi lento yenzeka indlela kwenzeka ngakhona because lo mfana kaChico lo owayehleli la eceleni kwaZandi wasuka from usofa la ehleli khona la wasuka la wamphusha lo muntu la.
See how it happened. In that this young man or Chico's son was seated there at the spot where the light was shown on that part of the couch. He went and he pushed and went there and pushed him.
Yeah, wamphusha. Umemphusha waphuma ngomnyango.
As he pushed him, he then exited the door. Ubani uphuma ngomnyango?
Yena lo mfana kaChico.
He pushed him, and he, Chico's son, then exited the door.
And just for record purpose, if you say he pushed the person, who are you referring to?
Mawuthi wampusha or lo pushiwe ukhuluma ngobani? Bani
yena lo
opushiwe?
fika wasikhomba ngesibhamu lo bekenza ama-dread efaka isigqoko
The very one that came and pointed us with the firearm, the one who had the dreadlocks and he had a hat on the head.
maze begqokile ijacket ngathi wasadesk inyanga ngathi caramel
Because he was wearing a caramelish jacket in terms of color. It looks like one of these desks here.
mbalo ngathi idesk
Yes.
so emva kwaloko kwasukuma wonke umuntu mfana lathi nje benza lento nje ngokukhulu ukusheshsha kwasukuma wonke umuntu endlini
That was a quick move. As he stood up and pushed him, everybody also stood up. Wasukuma wonke umuntu endlini.
yes
Everybody that was in the house then also stood up.
yes and umuntu oqala engimkhumbulayo esukuma because umuntu wabalekela la umuntu wasungena la lo mnyango oqala ukheli wabaleka wangena la lo mnyango oqala
Now the first
Kamereni la,
person
mawuphuma nje
to flee, it was Kelly. She ran and got into that bedroom that has been just pointed there at the sketch plan. That first door that is on the right of the sketch plan.
ngabe sekusukume wonke umuntu noSendo wayesela kuyena lo muntu lo mfishane lo Madrid
Now, because everybody had stood up now, and they had, gathered onto or at that very spot where that short person with the dreadlocks, short in terms of the height, with the dreadlocks was. Everybody went there and they gathered there. Even Senzo himself was there.
just a minute
Yes, you may proceed.
so nje sekunalokuphushana la endlini sekusukunyiwe ngithi mina angisukumanga ngaya same time le ukubona labantu bephushana la so that's why mangiqala zoke nje bengena la kule camera leli sengibona lo mude ke wesibili lo befake efake i jacket hood
Now, remember Kelly also went into the bedroom that I had just pointed here on the sketch plan, and I did not immediately stand up when the rest of the people stood up. So there was some pushing now that was happening. There was some tussling which was taking place there at the spot where the first person was. And that's when I noticed the second person who was now wearing a hoodie.
Yes, where did you notice the second person?
Uye wambona ekuphi ngenkathi umbona? Ngowesibili.
I think lo sibili befuna bethu jaha angazi noma wayethu jaha uKeli or in because nje osenzo nje wabelisana nalo no makazandi nje belisana nalo sibhamu lo mfishane sekuqhamuka lo that's why aphushana khona nosenzo waphushana senzo umncikise odongeni ngasesiqapheni sekhishi la
Now, I don't know the second person. Just around that, that's more or less the same spot where the first person who was being tussled against by the rest of the members of the house there. It appears to me that he may have been after Kelly, because remember Kelly went, she actually ran into that bedroom. Then there was also a stage where Senzo had pinned him against the door of the kitchen.
right yes
That is on the right of the sketch plan there.
Yeah, if you can just tell the court step by step what happened. You see him there more or less where the first person was.
Ungajahi ne? Step by step angisho. Uyambona laphana la lo oqala ebe khona ngisho. That's correct. I
What
see.
happens next?
Emva kwalokho kwase kwenzakalani?
ukuthi yonke into ayenzeka ngokusheshsha so
You know, everything happened so fast.
ngokusheshsha because angazi ukuthi usenzo wasuka nini kulo wama-threat lo
Now,
beshawa
yeah.
mawakheli nokheli nozandi.
I don't know at what stage or what time did Senzo now move away from the first person who was being fought against by the rest of the family members. That is, Kelly's mother, Zandi, everybody that was fighting the first person. I don't know when did he move from that particular spot.
Because nokheli naye wayesephumile la ngangimbonise la ekhishini ukuthi waphuma nini ebedroom angimazi.
Even Kelly herself, she had come out of the bedroom. As to when did she now leave the bedroom into the kitchen, I don't know.
Yeah, just a minute. Now, this fight that you're referring to, can you just describe it? If you say the fight that everyone else was involved in with the first person, or what are you referring to?
Ukhuluma ngani mawukhuluma ngale mpinyana okanye ukulwiswa kwalona wokuqala abeliswa uwo wonke umuntu.
Wathi basebeshana ukuthi bathekwa yena lo kuqala ne because uzandi noma
But remember they were now attacking the very first one now.
so ememshanga ama-crutches wami
Ubani obeshanga ama-crutches?
uzandi umuntu ephethe ama-crutches angani noma wakho eliphethe nelinye but uzandi umuntu engamkhumbula kahle because ngangizwa nomsindo walo malishaya phezulu.
Now, the crutch was also being used to hit this person. I'm not certain, but I think I saw Zandi in possession of the crutch. The thumping sound of the crutch, as this person was being struck with, I could hear it. Uthi noma wakhe ngathi ubephethe
Yeah,
crutch.
bekhona noma wakhe khona lapho kulo pushana kulapha ekitchen bekhona
The
noma
crutch
wakhe.
bephethe. Utsho nje
I'm not
uPhushana.
sure ngaye but umuntu engisho ngaye uzandi.
Okay.
Yeah.
If even the mother was there in that commotion or in that tussling that was taking place there, I am uncertain as to whether was she in possession of the crutch, but the person that I am certain with who used the crutch was Zandi.
Now, where was this crutch?
Ibekuphi le crutch?
Ngangiwabeke eduze nje kweheater. Ngidinga bawungena eminyango wasedaning la ka right.
When buwabeke lapho?
Yeah, mongena nje ngene ngikhona indawo la ka right nje la. Eceleni kune heater lapho eceleni kwakho.
Yeah, I had put them
Yeah, nginotongo la.
at a spot just
Yeah.
on the right there,
Yeah.
and next to the heater,
Yeah.
against the wall there. That is where I had put them.
Yes, you may proceed.
Ungaqhubeka.
Then usenzo wayesi ekhathi pushelwa against udonga bembamba isandla saka right.
Now, at the time that
Izandla
Senzo
zombili.
had pushed or pinned him against the wall, he had grabbed or held him on the upper arm. There's a demonstration here that the upper arm was actually grabbed and pushed or pinned against the wall by Senzo. So Senzo grabbed that upper arm and pushed it against the wall or pinned it against the wall. And that was the right arm that he pinned against.
Angifuni kule ngithi second suspect because ubebambe lo.
I don't want to keep on saying the second suspect. There is this accused person that is being pointed against by the witness. He had grabbed.
Nilo.
Yeah.
Wayebambe lo.
Yeah.
Yes, because nami
That's
ngashaya.
the very.
Yeah, kuye lo.
That's the very person. Now Fiwasha.
Yeah.
Even myself and I went and threw some blow.
Because after ngimshayile kwaqhuma isibhamu emva kwalokho.
After I had thrown the blow against him, then there was a gunshot that went off.
Just a minute. just want to show you photo 15 of Exhibit D. If you can just use that photo to illustrate your evidence.
asisebenzise lesithombe ke ukwazi ukusigqoka isithombe.
Wayinike khona la ngasemnyango. Usenze imbambe isandla sila phezulu because wayimbambe ngesaka right.
Now he was leaning against that wall over there.
Who is that now?
Usho ke ukuthi lo engikhuluma ngaye okanye ubani lo okhuluma ngaye ube
Lo mude lo sibili lo.
There,
Lo angene wesibili angamoya.
the tall one, the second one, who accessed the house, he was leaning against that door there, and Senzo had pinned him against the wall that is depicted in that picture, holding on his arm.
And in which direction was this person that you described as accused number 2 facing? And in which direction was the deceased facing?
Ulona ube bheke kuphi ubeqonde kuphi lona othi umsola wesibini kanti nomufi yena ube bheke kuphi?
Lo wayibheke ngaphakathi endlini usenze imbambe isandla ebheke ngaso eface ebheke isicapha kanje. Because usenze lo wayibheke ngala usenze ebhekile.
Okay. Usenze ube bheke isicapha lo ube flatheke isicapha.
Yeah.
This suspect was faced into the kitchen when Senzo was facing the door at the time that he had pinned him against the wall like that.
You say you also struck a blow. Who did you strike and where did you strike that person?
Uthi ke nawe walahlela ke lapho ushaya.
Yeah, ngamshaya khona ebusweni emva kwaloko waqhuma ishot yesibhamu.
Now, I hit him on the face. There's a demonstration as well. The temporal area of the face. I hit him on the face. And there was a clenched fist. There's a clenched fist, which is now demonstrating that that person was hit on the temporal area of the face. That very tall one.
Yes, you also, yes.
So after
And
just for record purposes,
yeah, waqhuma isibhamu emva kwaloko. Then
thereafter, there was a gunshot that went off.
nalisibhamu sakhona saqhuma sangivala amadle because indawo yakhona lapha incane ngala kuni nama-drawer ngala kune-free space esincane nje sila isenta kanje waqhuma isibhamu then ngabale ngawungena i-bedroom.
As it went off, the sound of that gunshot deafened or almost deafened my ears. Because, you know, there was, where we were, it was a reasonably confined space there. There are drawers the side, so there isn't much of the movement in that spot where the gunshot went off. I then ran and got myself into the bedroom.
Just a minute. Now, where did the gun go off?
Is Pamsisa Kumela Upi?
No, I think besiqhuma la kitchen because emva kokuqhuma kwaso bekukhala imsindo tswi emadlebeni then ngabale ngawungena ekamereni.
I think it went off in the kitchen because after it went off, there was that a beeping sound or a lasting beeping sound in the ears.
Yes, the ringing sound.
The ringing sound in the ears, yes. That's when I ran into the bedroom.
Can you just indicate where you heard the sound of the firearm?
Ungasibonisa ke ukuthi wena ke isibhamu wasizwa ukuphi
Asizwa ngikhona la kitchen and for sure besiqhuma around khona la kitchen ukuthi umuntu besiqhuma because besingezingivala amadle besibude kakhulu.
It went off right inside of the kitchen there, around the spot in the kitchen there. It wouldn't have, went off outside of the kitchen. Otherwise, it would not also have deafened my ears like that after it went off.
Yes, and to which room did you then run to?
Wire kweyiphi room?
Ngakulila amaroom akhona nje lapha endlini. I think ngihamba ngepassage lika right ngathi kuqinile.
I went to one of the rooms in the house there. If you walking through the passage there, I should think it is the one on the right. A light has been shown on the room on the right, the second one on the right.
Yeah, ile festera la. Ngathi ngifuna ukuphuma ngalo la anti ngamabhakla akade.
Now there's a window right there. A light has been shown where the window was. I actually wanted to exit through that window. I realized that there are burglar guards on that window, so I couldn't.
If photo 2 can be shown of Exhibit D. Are you able to point out that bedroom wherein you ran?
Yeah, ile because ngalungiza ngelindi la ngifuna ukuphuma ngathi kunamabhakla.
Now that is the very window that I'm referring to. That's the bedroom I was in, because I peeked through the window and I realized there were burglar guards because I wanted to exit the house through that window there.
Yes, what happened further?
Then emva kwalokho ngiyivalelela ngathatha ifoni yami because mongena umnyango le camera mase ngaphakathi ngathatha ifoni yami ngala ka mongena umnyango umbhedu kwa left bekulela umntana wakasenzo lapho so wayesevukile umntwana ngazama ukuthatha ifoni ngiyifake because ngala ka right kunempahla ningubo ezazingala ka right ayifanga phansi kwalezo ingubo lezo.
Then I took my phone and hid it under the blankets. You know, when you access that particular room, on the left there's a bed, and the census child was lying on that bed. He was already awake during that time. And I should think that it was because of the commotion or the noise that was taking place that woke the child up. And then there were blankets that were stacked on the right.
Yes.
There were blankets that were stacked on the right, and then I took my phone and push it or shoved it underneath the blankets that were stacked there, tucked it underneath the blankets that were there.
And just place the name of census child on record.
Igama lengane kaSenzo bani?
uThingo.
Tingo.
Yes, you may continue.
Ungaqhubeka.
Futhi emva kwesikhashana nje ngiyivalele lapho angiyeza ukuthi hayi sekukhuluma nje abantu nje akusekho labantu ngaphakathi.
Now, after a while, since I had closed or locked myself in there, I could hear that now there weren't those people that were causing the commotion initially. People were just talking now, normally talking.
Yes.
Then emva kwesikhashana nje ngathi ngiyavula umnyango wakhona uvuleki.
Now, after a while, I tried to open the door. That door could not open.
Ngashaya isicapha ngamemeza ukuthi ngicela bangivulele.
And I knocked the door, and I also shouted that they should open for me.
Yes.
but angisazi noma ngivulela ngespoon or ngivulela ngomesi because lo mnyango awuvuleki mawungaphakathi. So umuntu wayengaphandle ngivula kana ngespoon noma umesi na usebenzisa ukuthi angivulele lapho.
I don't know who the person was. I should think it was Mtogo. Mtogo is the one that could have opened the door for me, because once you are inside of that bedroom, that door is not easy for it to be opened from inside. So he had to use some instrument, a utensil. It could have been a knife or a spoon that he had used so that he can try and open that door from outside.
Yes.
So mawuqeda ungivulela umthobo, mangiphuma ngiyabona wonke umuntu manje ongazuthi usemangele nje in mangithi ngiyaqhamuka usenzo ulele edining ulele ungathi ungene ngale side ngathi ubecasha ulele between usofa ne stand ungene nje kanje.
Now, when I got out,
le part nje yakhe wangathi le ngathi ungene ngale side le kanje between stand ne sofa lo ngala behleli khona umakakhe.
Now, when I got out, it appeared people were startled of what had happened there, and Senzo somehow was lying between the couch and the stand and the TV stand, with the left-hand part of his body, as though he was trying to get himself between or into that space that is between the couch and as well as the TV stand.